Yeah.
See, Tyson's downfall is largely related to many things. Everybody falls. They just get too big. It's too unmanageable.
Joe Rogan has just revealed why he thinks that Jake Paul is going to beat Mike Tyson in their upcoming bout. On the other hand, Eddie Hearn, the prominent Matchroom promoter, has once again cast doubts on the upcoming fight, reaffirming his skepticism in an exclusive interview with The Stomping Ground. He said, "It's difficult. You know my opinion because I've given interviews on it before. But if you say anything negative, you're a hater. I got the event. I know what people want to see. They want to see freak shows, and that's what it is." Moreover, Hearn confessed that he might opt out of watching the match altogether, even if it's streamed on Netflix. He added, "It'll do really well. People will tune in, but it's not for everyone. If you grew up watching Mike Tyson and he's one of your greatest fighters of all time, the last thing you want to do is see him get back in the ring at 58 years old and lose to Jake Paul." Hearn then mentioned that it was uncertain what would be on the card, suggesting that it might turn out to be a great night of boxing, and concluded that they would see. He said, "The general consensus from the casual audience is, oh, that's a bit of a freak show, I'll watch that. Who knows what's going to be on the card? Maybe it's a great night of boxing, we'll see." When queried about his plans to tune in for the match, Hearn insisted that his decision hinges on the caliber of the preliminary bouts. He said, "We'll see. We'll see what's on the undercard. I don't know." Shaquille O'Neal expressed his concern for Jake Paul, regardless of whether he wins or loses against the boxing legend Mike Tyson. In the event that Paul succumbs to Tyson's prowess, a figure who once held the esteemed title of the world's unrivaled boxing champion, Paul will find himself subjected to public humiliation amidst a worldwide streaming audience.
What do you think about the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight that's coming?
I think it's awesome. First of all, he's Mike Tyson.
I could watch videos of him training all the time.
There are a few athletes, him being one, where their highlight reel gets my card. Where I'm like, what the?
But if you're Jake Paul, you feel good about beating a 57-year-old Mike Tyson?
You think he's going to win?
Do you think Jake Paul's the favorite?
No, I'm just saying, if Jake Paul does happen to win, does he really feel good about beating a 57? Right. I would feel... I really would.
O'Neal commented on the Big Podcast, questioning whether Jake Paul would feel good about beating Mike Tyson. Regardless of the perspective, it's evident that O'Neal isn't particularly keen on Paul's decision to square off against an opponent 3 decades his senior. While his fellow hosts appeared captivated by the bout, Shaq's enthusiasm remained noticeably subdued.
To this, you dominated a very similar era. You're younger than him. Do you think that Tyson can knock his out?
I know he can.
If he walks out like old Mike Tyson with the music and the hood up.
Hold on. Both of y'all forgetting 2 words. Father Time.
You're being real negative right now.
I'm not being real. I'm just saying, like, if we could all do it, I'd still be playing.
The towering figure maintains a steadfast belief in Tyson's enduring ability to unleash devastating punches within the squared circle. However, the stark 30-year age difference overwhelmingly tilting in favor of Jake Paul cannot be overlooked. Others have also drawn attention to the ages, including UFC CEO Dana White, who has frequently emphasized this aspect. Moreover, White has outright rejected the notion that Paul harbors aspirations of clinching a world title. He recently said, he doesn't want to be a respected fighter. What Jake wants is to make money. People who follow Jake Paul don't buy Jake Paul's fights, so Jake Paul has to fight people who can sell actual pay-per-views. On the other hand, it appears that Sean Strickland harbors an intense aversion towards Jake Paul. The ex-UFC champion finds it utterly intolerable that Paul is set to face off against Mike Tyson, who is 3 decades his senior. Fueled by his disdain, the MMA fighter unleashes a barrage of cutting remarks, expressing his vehement disapproval. Adding to the fray, he delivers a stern admonition to the problem child.
The big boxing match that's going to happen between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. The schmo knows you wanted to spar with Jake Paul.
I wanted to murder Jake Paul.
Strickland remained undeterred in launching scathing critiques aimed squarely at Paul. He deems the forthcoming bout between the two as lacking in taste. Furthermore, Strickland didn't mince words when it came to Paul. What exactly did he express?
I mean, how old is Mike Tyson? 60?
57.
57. Jake Paul.
27.
You are a disgrace of a man. You are the epitome of weakness. You are the scum of the earth. The fact that you even have a platform or anything of that nature is a slight on society.
With raw honesty, he expressed his desire to utterly defeat Paul and his disdain for the transformation of a YouTuber into a boxer. Adding to his revelation, Strickland made it clear that if they ever crossed paths outside the ring, he wouldn't hesitate to inflict harm. Consequences be damned.
You truly make me f***ing disgusted. And if I ever encounter you in real life, I hope that I just don't lose my shit. and go to prison.
While the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson clash has created all the hype beneath the surface, the problem child harbors a tinge of disappointment over yet another unmaterialized prospect. Following his alliance with PFL in the dawn of 2023, anticipation swirled around his inaugural MMA bout. Despite murmurs circulating about a potential rematch between Paul and Nate Diaz, the whispers never solidified into reality. So, during a recent installment of the BS with Jake Paul podcast, Paul didn't mince words in his reproach of the ex-UFC champion and esteemed figure.
Peacock, everyone's probably going to try to get in on this in some form or fashion. So, and yeah, I'm still down to fight anyone, anytime. But a lot of people in this sport are bitches. That's what I've come to find out. They don't actually want to fight. So, all these super fights, Nate Diaz in MMA, all these actual bitch-made men.
As you can see, during a conversation about how his Netflix agreement is reshaping the boxing broadcast landscape, Paul unexpectedly veered off course. The Disney luminary declared his readiness to take on all challengers, proposing that these bouts be streamed across platforms such as Netflix and Amazon Prime Video. However, according to Paul, not everyone is willing to fight. Rather, they just want to talk about making such fights. In April 2021, Ben Askren faced Jake Paul in a highly anticipated bout, ultimately succumbing to a first-round knockout. Recently, Askren was asked whether he and Paul ended things on good terms, and Askren said, "No, I kind of just left it in animosity with Paul. I just walked out and I left. Yeah, I got my pay and left. I got paid well. I mean, it would have been nicer if I had won, obviously." As the anticipation builds for what could be the highlight bout of 2024, Jake Paul finds himself grappling with mixed emotions over not facing Nate Diaz in the ring. Yet perhaps there's a silver lining to this missed opportunity. Meanwhile, Paul recently criticized former adversary Tyrone Woodley for his forecast regarding their upcoming showdown. In the midst of a podcast conversation about Paul's forthcoming bout, one of the hosts raised Woodley's forecast for Paul's fight.
Well, you knocked him the fuck out, but he also thinks you're going to get knocked the fuck out. Tyrone Woodley is predicting Mike Tyson's knocking your fucking head off.
Well, he also predicted that he would knock my head off.
That's true.
At that moment, a suggestion arose from one of the hosts. Why not have Paul take a look at Tyson's latest training footage? He said, "I don't know if you've seen his recent training footage, but it's pretty absurd." As Paul viewed the footage with keen interest, he found himself impressed by Tyson's agility and skill, yet remained unfazed and unthreatened.
Age, I think we should touch on that a little bit more, but this is him at 57.
Yeah, this is what I watched before I made the parlay that he was knocking you out.
So you have a parlay in...
Wait, no. What?
The audible. Let me see this.
Babe, but what if he knocks you out?
But when Judah Leardom, his lover, questioned, "What if he knocks you out?" Paul had advised her to just look away. Furthermore, Paul is curious about Tyson's hitting force. Consequently, Paul boldly extends a challenge, bracing himself for the ultimate showdown. In the same podcast, Paul stated, "I want to see how hard he hits. Mike, I really want to see, bro. Let's see all the legends, the myths, because you're Iron Mike Tyson. But I have an iron chin. People know that. I take shots." He went on to say that he will prove everyone wrong and that they are underestimating his ability to handle Tyson's strength. Meanwhile, a query arose among the hosts regarding the potential of his upcoming bout to outshine the PPV viewership garnered by the Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor showdown. Paul exudes confidence that their impending clash will effortlessly eclipse its predecessor. When prodded by his co-host about the likelihood of surpassing Mayweather-McGregor's viewership, the 27-year-old shared his perspective. Jake Paul said confidently, "It'll be more viewed, 1000% for sure. For sure more views. Obviously, it's free, so we can't compare pay-per-view numbers." Numerous more online entities have endorsed this viewpoint. Even well-known comedian Andrew Schultz thinks that this battle will be the most viewed event ever on television worldwide. In addition to his endorsement, the renowned NBC journalist has championed this assertion, emphasizing the potential spectacle of a showdown between Paul and Tyson, anticipated to captivate audiences worldwide on an unprecedented scale. Chris Mannix, an analyst for DAZN and host of NBC, anticipates record-breaking viewership. Netflix has smartly capitalized on the fight's wider appeal by making it accessible to all of its customers. Mannix said, "The last couple of fights, Jake Paul has been going down the traditional boxing path. I didn't think a Tyson fight was going to happen, but here we are with one of the biggest social media stars ever and one of the biggest boxing stars ever, fighting on perhaps the biggest global platform ever." Mannix also added that he believed this would be an event unlike any other and thought it had the potential to become the most viewed boxing event ever. He said, "I think this will be an event unlike any other. I think this has the potential to be the most viewed boxing event ever." Thus, there is still a great deal of debate regarding regarding how this fight will draw large crowds and prove to be a tremendous hit for Netflix's boxing debut. Meanwhile, WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash recently shared insights on his Click This podcast, delving into various subjects, one of which involved the potential matchup between Jake Paul, sibling of United States champion Logan Paul, and the renowned boxing legend Mike Tyson.
Seen a workout, you think at 57 we're going to see shades of the old Tyson?
If I had to pick one of those two to fight, it sure as fuck would not be Mike Tyson.
Kevin Nash said that if he had to choose one of the two to fight, it definitely would not be Mike Tyson. He added that Paul would be left with nothing but ribs and skin. Tyson isn't just a minnow in the pond. He's more akin to the mighty great white patrolling the depths of the Pacific. His influence is so profound that even youngsters who couldn't tell a jab from a hook are familiar with the name Tyson.
How'd you like to be that motherfucker that's got to spar with him? Good God.
How'd you like to be fucking Paul taking a fucking body? Ain't nobody
Well,
hit,
yeah,
ain't
he's
nobody
getting $20
hit.
million. This guy ain't. Can't spend it when you're dead, I guess.
You ain't fucking wearing that. He's got a protector on everything else. I mean, that Paul ain't gonna have nothing but fucking ribs and skin.
With Tyson's exit from the boxing scene, the heavyweight division plunged into disarray, a fact Dana White foresaw with crystal clarity. In his prime as a boxer, Mike Tyson dominated with an impressive record of 50 victories, 44 of which came by way of knockout. UFC's top executive, Dana White, was keenly aware that the realm of boxing would never witness another phenomenon quite like Mike Tyson after the legendary Iron Mike bid farewell to the fighting scene. During a candid discussion with Fox Sports in 2010, White delved into the essence of greatness among fighters. He said, "Fighters are different from any other human beings on earth, and the greats, the best of the best, that's how they are. That's how they are built to the core. They are a unique group of people, and a very, very small percentage are the best in the world." White further emphasized that Tyson, being a dark personality, has a mellow character when he is not in the ring. White stated, "I mean, look at how Mike Tyson is now. Remember how he was then? When you talk to MMA, some of these guys are really mellow, easygoing guys. But inside, that's how they are. And if that's not how you are, you don't belong to this sport." And the thing with boxing is, the heavyweight division died with what Tyson left. Mike Tyson's contemplation of a return to the boxing arena is met with reluctance by Dana White, who hesitates to see his longtime comrade re-enter the fray. White contends that Tyson's age has surpassed the zenith for such endeavors. To illustrate, Tyson will soon reach the age of 58, juxtaposed with Paul, a mere 27-year-old contender. During the UFC 299 presser, White was asked about his opinion on the fight. He said, "He gets mad when I do this, but Mike's 60, man. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Who gives a shit what I think? It's not my fight." White said he would wait to see what Tyson could do after putting together a training camp and emphasized his general dislike for older individuals fighting. He highlighted the potential 31-year age difference during the fight and reiterated his typical stance on such matters. White added, "I love Mike Tyson personally as a friend, and he's one of my favorite athletes of all time. I don't know. Let's see what he can do there and put together a training camp and come in. I don't like to see guys fighting at that age. It'd be a 31-year age difference during that fight. You guys know what I think of that stuff." In a recent episode of Pound for Pound featuring Kimura Usman, White made a notable comment. Dana suggests that Jake Paul's motivation for challenging Tyson boils down to financial gain, as Tyson's presence attracts viewership to the boxing event. He said, "If he beats Mike Tyson, he's going to fight Clint Eastwood next." Clint Eastwood's 93 years old. Usman endeavored to make the case that fighters invariably retain a round of energy, yet he observed that Jake Paul is failing to establish himself credibly in the realm of fighting. White promptly interjected, asserting that the problem child lacks the motivation to pursue such credibility. He added, "He doesn't want to be taken seriously. What Jake wants is Jake wants to make money. The people that follow Jake Paul don't buy Jake Paul's fights, so Jake Paul has to fight people who can actually sell pay-per-views." Tyson stands as a legend among those who have graced the boxing ring, yet time has taken its toll, firmly ensnaring him in the grasp of old age. Once hailed as the GOAT, Tyson's glory days are now a distant memory, his prime long faded into the past. The turning point came with his defeat at the hands of Buster Douglas, a moment that marked the beginning of his decline. Joe Rogan, a keen observer of the sport, has delved into the depths of Tyson's downfall in one of his insightful videos, shedding light on the true reasons behind the fall of the once indomitable Iron Mike.
Yeah, you ever see that press?
No, I didn't know what that was.
That was like Tyson Buster Douglas. They didn't
They didn't have one.
They didn't bring it. They thought
Yeah.
Tyson was going to fuck up Buster Douglas that bad. They were
Well,
like,
he had a bad corner.
Resurgence of Tyson was the title given to the legendary match between Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. Preceding the bout, Tyson stood as the favored contender, yet fate had a different plan in store. Tyson, holding the pinnacle position in the world's pound-for-pound ranking for heavyweight boxers, had never fathomed defeat until encountering Douglas, a challenger hungry for victory. Prior Prior to their showdown, Douglas made a solemn vow to his ailing mother that he would emerge victorious against Tyson. Remarkably, the strength of his pledge and unwavering determination seemed to manifest in his favor. Though Douglas endured a relentless assault from Tyson, he defied the odds, delivering a stunning knockout blow in the 10th round that sent Iron Mike crashing out of the ring. Joe Rogan highlighted what caused Tyson to stray away from his aspirations. While in conversation about Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson, Rogan said,
but also Costamato died, and then he left Kevin Rooney. And so now he's with these guys that were just like around.
Yeah.
And they're his trainers. And it's like he's Tyson, so he could beat everybody, anybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, but then he gets to this one dude in Buster Douglas who's really prepared. His mom just died. And he was always like that super talented guy. Like, look how bad I was. Jesus. Look how bad I was. And they didn't have an end
They had a glove. They used a glove. They filled a rubber glove with ice.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan pointed out that Tyson's decline was partly due to losing a solid team. However, it appears Tyson is aiming to make a bold comeback statement nearly 2 decades after officially retiring, evident in his decision to fight Jake Paul. However, Rogan asserts that Tyson, despite his advanced age, retains the formidable power to vanquish any adversary in the ring. He said, "I don't give a if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson. He trains with Rafael Cordero, who's a legend in MMA. He runs King's Mixed Martial Arts. Rafael is a world-renowned trainer. When you see him holding the mitts, for Tyson and Tyson is smashing the mitts. Jesus, that guy can still you up." Rogan added that in today's world, with hormone replacement and vitamins, Tyson has been involved in all this electrical muscle stimulation recovery stuff. He mentioned that when they were training Mike for the Roy Jones fight, they used state-of-the-art science. Rogan added, "In this world with hormone replacement and vitamins, Tyson does all this electrical muscle stimulation recovery stuff. When they were training Mike for that Roy Jones fight, they were using state-of-the-art science. I don't give a if he's 55 years old. That guy will hurt you." Rogan. He speculated that if Jake Paul were on the other side of the ring and saw Mike Tyson bobbing and weaving, there would be a moment of recognition. He added, "If Jake Paul's on the other side of the ring and he sees Mike Tyson bobbing and weaving, he's going to have a recognition. He's going to look over and go, oh my God, that's really Mike Tyson." Meanwhile, the reigning BKFC King of Violence title holder, Mike Perry, holds a profound admiration for none other than the legendary Mike Tyson. In an exclusive interview with TMZ Sports, Perry expressed particular concern about Paul's forthcoming encounter with Iron Mike, citing concerns about Tyson's age and health challenges.
Jake Paul, man, if he hurts Mike Tyson, bro, let me get that, bro. And he's not coming to bare knuckle. That's the thing, though. Right. That's the thing, right?
You don't think he would do it?
These guys, so who wants to come bare knuckle with me? You know, shout out to MVP, man. We had a heck of a match.
He also issued a cautionary message to the problem child, indicating that facing Tyson might not be the cakewalk some expect it to be. Meanwhile, Jake Paul recently raised expectations by sharing 2 powerful images on Instagram that quickly drew the attention of boxing fans all over the world. He is seen giving Mike Tyson a polite handshake in the first. The second picture foreshadows the impending conflict by abruptly switching to a tense face-off. Paul's caption underlines the moment's significance: the greatest heavyweight boxer on the planet and Mike Tyson. This bold statement not only showcases Paul's confidence, but also announces the fight's details. In response to Paul's controversial post, Mike Tyson echoed his formidable reputation with a brief but impactful message. "Everyone has a plan until I punch them in the mouth," Tyson remarked, bringing his intimidating presence in the boxing ring to Paul's attention. Concerns about Mike fighting at this age have been raised. Overall, the upcoming bout between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has stirred a pot of mixed reactions from fans, fighters, and analysts alike. So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.